Welcome to our channel, everyone. Today we're diving into the story of cake boss Buddy Valastro. Buddy Valastro kept a secret for decades. At the age of 27, he experienced his first panic attack. He hid it while still smiling in front of millions of viewers on TV. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you're ready to uncover Buddy Valastro's story with us. By 2020, he was running 14 bakeries, 7 restaurants, and 75 vending machines. Then a sudden accident shattered his hand. His sons watched as he screamed while they sawed through metal to rescue him. Today, Buddy is worth over $10 million, but his kids have started taking over the empire. One of them earns $150,000 without ever touching dough, and the other went viral with 12 million views, and his transformation story will truly shock you. Leave a comment with the number 1 to join us in exploring the incredible journey of Buddy Valastro. Buddy Valastro was born on March 3, 1977, in Hoboken, New Jersey. His parents were Italian immigrants who came to America with big dreams but very little money. The family lived in a small apartment above Carlo's bakery. The smell of fresh bread filled the air, but it was mixed with the stress of unpaid bills. Buddy's father, Bartolo Sr., worked 16-hour shifts and sometimes had to sleep on sacks of flour when he was too exhausted to make it home. His mother, Mary, stayed up late counting every penny to decide whether they could afford both milk and the electric bill. They lived off leftover bread and unsold pastries from the bakery. Buddy wore hand-me-down clothes from his 4 older sisters and slept on the living room couch. Life was tough, but those hardships taught him the value of hard work and gratitude. When Buddy was just 11 years old, his life changed forever. His father was diagnosed with lung cancer. The family needed help to keep the bakery running, so while other kids were playing baseball or video games, Buddy had to go to work after school. He scrubbed mixing bowls, mopped floors, and decorated cakes with buttercream flowers until his hands were sore. His days started at 6 a.m. and didn't end until after dark. He was paid only $20 a week, but he learned everything from baking to managing orders. By the age of 13, Buddy was already making $800 wedding cakes. That money helped pay the electric bills and the mortgage. Those early sacrifices became the foundation for his future success, but nothing could have prepared Buddy for what happened in 1994. At just 17 years old, his father suddenly passed away from a heart attack. The grief was overwhelming, but the pressure was even worse. The bakery was struggling, sales were dropping, and debt was piling up. Without hesitation, Buddy took on the full responsibility. He had no business experience, no formal training, and no time to learn. Eventually, he dropped out of high school, a decision that haunted him for years. While his friends were off to college, Buddy was waking up at 4 a.m. to bake bread and manage payroll. The days were long. His back constantly ached, and doubt never left his mind. Was this the right path? Had he sacrificed too much? He watched his friends build their futures while he felt stuck in a kitchen just trying to keep his family from falling apart. The pressure was immense. He suffered from panic attacks, insomnia, and cried alone when no one was watching. There were times it all felt like too much to bear, but he never gave up. From 1998 to 2003, Buddy went through a string of painful failures both emotionally and financially. One of the worst was when he attempted to create a luxurious Italian wedding cake using $800 worth of imported Belgian chocolate. Just hours before the wedding, the cake collapsed. The entire family had to work through the night, spending an additional $200 on ingredients just to save the wedding. Another time he burned 200 cannoli shells while experimenting with a new method. That mistake cost him $400, nearly the entire week's profit for the struggling bakery. These failures were painful, but they also made Buddy more careful and precise. Every mistake taught him something, and every risk, no matter how costly, brought him one step closer to mastering his craft. In those early years, from 1994 to 2005, the bakery was just barely getting by. Monthly revenue was around $8,000, just enough to cover rent, utilities, and ingredients. On some cold winter days, they made as little as $150 in sales. Most of the customers were 40 to 50 elderly Italian Americans who kept the bakery afloat. The shop itself was tiny, just 800 square feet, able to hold only 6 customers at a time. Many of the machines were decades old, dating back to the 1960s. When the display case broke and cakes went bad, the family lost hundreds of dollars but couldn't afford to buy a new one. They had to fix it using tools they found at home. Buddy often worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week, earning less than minimum wage. Life was tough, but that's what it took to keep the bakery alive. It was truly a family affair. Mary, his mother, managed the finances even though she had no formal business training. She kept a tight grip on the budget and debated every single dollar. Buddy's 4 sisters each handled a different role. Grace greeted customers with a warm smile, Melina ran the inventory like a drill sergeant, Mary focused on cake decorating, and Lisa took care of sourcing ingredients. They often argued about money schedules and relationships, but they were still a family. That mix of harmony and conflict later became part of what made their reality TV show so captivating. Real arguments, genuine hugs, business stories, and family drama, all of it became the highlights that made them famous. But before they reached success, they went through their toughest times. From 2001 to 2004, things nearly fell apart. Large commercial bakeries started opening nearby, slashing prices by up to 30% thanks to automated machinery and bulk ingredient purchases. In 2002, a bakery opened just 3 blocks away, causing Carlo's bakery to lose nearly 40% of its customers. Monthly revenue dropped to $4,800, barely enough to cover the bills. Buddy even thought about giving up and considered selling the bakery. A few buyers offered between $45,000 and $60,000. The pressure caused him to lose sleep, and he dropped 25 pounds. His mother took a second job at a grocery store to help bring in extra income. His sisters also started looking for other work. Then at the end of 2003, the family sat down for a serious talk and decided to try one more year. If things didn't improve, they would walk away. That decision changed everything. They put all their effort into trying, and slowly things started to turn around. In 2004, Buddy entered the Food Network Challenge, a tough competition bringing together chefs from all over the country. Buddy didn't just bake. He surprised everyone with his witty remarks and confidence. He won a $10,000 prize, but even bigger was discovering his talent for television. That victory marked the beginning of his journey from a local baker in Hoboken to a nationally recognized name. He never thought he was cut out for TV, but producers saw something special in him, his humor, confidence, and baking skills, which became his signature brand. By 2007, Buddy returned to the Food Network Challenge, not as a contestant, but as a mentor. He didn't just offer advice. He also learned how to work in front of the camera, framing storytelling and audience reactions. This was his secret to building the skills needed for his own future show. While running Carlo's bakery, Buddy was preparing for a bigger breakthrough. He wasn't just baking anymore, he was building a reputation in the world of television. Small guest appearances helped him establish his presence. Then the biggest surprise happened. When a producer offered to create a reality show about the bakery, Buddy expanded his business beyond what he ever imagined. What surprised him the most was how quickly everything happened. In just a few weeks, his small bakery became a national brand. Cake Boss aired from 2009 to 2020, running for 11 years of non-stop fame. It turned Buddy into a household name, but it also took away his privacy. Every part of his life became public, and his mother Mary, along with his sisters, became familiar faces on TV as well. In 2017, when his mother passed away, fans covered the bakery with flowers, cards, and drawings. Even people who had never met her mourned like family. That's how close the show made everyone feel. But it also made grieving in private nearly impossible. Fame brought other challenges, too. Fans often showed up at his home, and security became a real concern. He could no longer enjoy the simple life of a small-town baker. Hoboken changed his life, and his life changed the bakery. By 2010, the original shop on Washington Street couldn't handle the massive crowds. Tourists swarmed like ants, and the city even renamed the street corner Carlo's Bakery Way as a tribute. But the fame also caused traffic jams and significant pressure. What was once a small, quiet bakery had become a global attraction. So in November 2010, Buddy opened a massive 30,000-square-foot facility at the Lackawanna Center in Jersey City. This huge location had everything from ovens to offices to a shipping station. The cost ran into the millions, but now he could ship cakes nationwide. The small family bakery had turned into a large-scale culinary operation. Buddy didn't stop there. He wanted to grow even more. At one point, Carlo's Bakery had about 20 locations across several states like New York, Florida, Texas, and even Nevada. In 2013, he opened Buddy V's restaurants in Las Vegas, followed by Pizza Cake the Boss Cafe and Buddy's Jersey Eats. He wasn't just a baker anymore, he had become a builder of a culinary empire. In 2014, he started a wedding catering business, and in 2019, he introduced cake vending machines, automated machines that sell slices of cake which can be found in Las Vegas, Toronto, and shopping centers across Canada and the US. Some cities have as many as 30 machines. People love the convenience, and that's how Buddy stays ahead of the game. Also, that same year, in November, he released the book Cake Boss Stories and Recipes from Mia Familia, exactly 100 years after the bakery first opened in 1910. The 272-page book includes 37 recipes ranging from red velvet cake to cannoli, but it's not just a cookbook. It also tells the story of his family, his mother, father, sisters, and how they worked together to turn a dream into a legacy. If you like Buddy Valastro's story, leave a comment with the number 2. If not, leave a comment with the number 5. The book made it onto the New York Times bestseller list, praised for its thoughtful blend of baking knowledge and a touching story about family tradition. In 2012, the Hudson Reporter named Buddy one of the 50 most influential people in Hudson County just 3 years after Cake Boss began. Tourism in Hoboken skyrocketed, local businesses flourished, all thanks to the little bakery on Washington Street. His success didn't just inspire viewers, it transformed an entire neighborhood. Buddy Valastro is no longer just a baker. In October 2013, he opened Buddy V's restaurant at the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas. People used to think he was just a TV chef, but this move proved otherwise. The restaurant is located right across from his famous Carlo's Bake Shop and cost over $2 million to build. He didn't do it alone. He partnered with industry leaders like Elizabeth Blau and chef Kim Cantino Walla. The menu features all family recipes, Valastro, Sunday gravy nanas, 7-layer lasagna with large portions and bold flavors. By 2024, the restaurant celebrated its 10th anniversary, an impressive milestone in Las Vegas, where many restaurants close within just 3 years. The restaurant not only survived, but thrived, earning a 4.3-star rating from over 3,290 reviews, ranking #1 among more than 5,000 restaurants in the city, and winning the Gold Award from the Las Vegas Review Journal. The following year, he didn't slow down. In 2014, he launched Buddy V's events and catering, specializing in weddings and events. While many would wait, he didn't. People often asked about event services, so he decided to make a major investment. Partnering with Jeffrey Spivak, one of the most dynamic event planners, they broke into the Las Vegas event market, which generates over $11 billion annually. Valastro handled the food while Spivak took care of logistics. They offered high-end wedding services, featuring Buddy's signature Italian recipes in a market where celebrity chefs can charge up to $2,000 per person. Buddy quickly captured the market, creating two complementary revenue streams. Both the restaurant and event services flourished. In 2016, Valastro became the face of Whole Earth Sweetener Co. The Sugar King now promoted a zero-calorie sweetener with the Rethink Sweet campaign, which went against his previous image. But he embraced the challenge, creating new low-calorie recipes that still tasted great. This deal surely brought in a hefty income. Celebrity endorsements typically earn between $500,000 and $5 million annually. He also launched special recipes for the holiday season, reaching new customer segments. The message was clear: he's willing to evolve and take risks to maintain his position. In 2018, he surprised everyone again, this time with dog food. But not just any dog food. These were Italian-inspired dishes created in partnership with the Pound Bakery. The menu included items like Parmesan chicken pizza and meatballs for dogs, all free of wheat, corn, and soy, baked in the USA and designed for dogs with sensitive stomachs. The Pound Bakery has over 20 years of experience and strict certifications. Valastro expanded his Italian brand to man's best friend. At that time, the pet food market was worth over $7 billion annually, and he jumped into this market with a product no celebrity chef had ever considered before. Then came the cake vending machines. In 2019, he launched refrigerated cake vending machines in Toronto. These machines aren't small. They can hold 8 whole cakes and 160 slices. They are restocked daily at busy spots along Toronto's downtown pedestrian areas. Rainbow cake, red velvet, chocolate fudge, they've got them all. Slices of cake sell for $89.99, and whole cakes go for up to $44.99, 2 to 3 times the price at convenience stores, but customers still buy. This isn't a short-term sales gimmick, it's a long-term investment. Each machine can bring in over $500,000 a year in prime locations. It's a bold move that brings the bakery to customers 24/7 without needing to open new stores. All this happened while he was still running his television empire. Starting with Cake Boss, he didn't stop there. In 2010, he launched Next Great Baker, followed the next year by Kitchen Boss, then Buddy's Bakery, Rescue Bake You Rich, and Bakery Boss within just a few years. By 2013, he was juggling 6 shows at once while managing Carlo's bakery and his new businesses. He was flying all over the U.S. nonstop, filming, still baking regularly. The workload was enormous long days, no weekends off, and severe sleep deprivation. It wasn't just tough, it was dangerous. Bakery Boss was especially intense because he had to help struggling family bakeries overcome their challenges, which meant dealing with their emotional issues as well as his own. In 2019, Buddy vs. Duff took the competition to a whole new level, pitting him against pastry legend Duff Goldman with giant cakes, complex techniques, and intense pressure. In 2020, he did Buddy vs. Christmas, but that same year disaster struck. A metal bar from a bowling ball return machine pierced his hand 3 times, and his teenage sons had to use a saw to rescue him. He underwent multiple surgeries but kept filming and working, even though his dominant hand was nearly paralyzed. Each new show required a bigger, more dramatic cake. He had to constantly push himself, standing for hours, carving sugar and stacking cake layers. His body was exhausted, but he couldn't slow down because the audience expected Cake Boss, and he delivered at a huge personal cost. No sleep, no breaks, non-stop creativity left him completely drained. The breaking point came when he was 27 and had his first panic attack so severe he had to be rushed to the hospital. The pressure deadlines and demand for perfection made everything collapse. For years, he kept this a secret. No one knew. While battling anxiety but still smiling in front of the camera on an episode of Bakery Boss, he helped another baker overcome a panic attack. What the audience didn't know was that he had been through the same experience himself. He knew exactly how that felt. He overcame breakdowns, surgeries, and panic attacks to keep his brand growing strong. Buddy Valastro thought it would just be a relaxing evening with his family. It was September 20th, 2020, and he was at home enjoying the private bowling alley in his New Jersey mansion. Everything seemed normal until it wasn't. Suddenly, the bowling ball return machine got jammed, but instead of just stopping, it malfunctioned badly. The machine didn't just glitch, it turned into a trap. Within seconds, Buddy's right hand was pulled into the machine, and a thick metal bar pierced his hand not once, but 3 times. The pain hit instantly. The metal bar pierced his hand, leaving him unable to move and trapped in place. Every small movement sent waves of pain through his fingers, palm, and back of his hand. All were affected. It wasn't just pain, it was panic. Blood was pouring out, but the machine wouldn't let go. Then the unthinkable happened. His teenage sons had to save him. They ran to get a power saw. The kids, still just kids, had to cut through the metal bar that was holding their father hostage. Imagine shaky hands screams echoing in the background. One wrong move could have made things worse, but they didn't stop. They kept cutting through the metal while their dad screamed in pain. Finally, they freed him. Buddy was rushed to the hospital. The doctors didn't sugarcoat it. The metal bar might have torn tendons, muscles, and nerves. They said he might never bake again. For Buddy, it wasn't just a job, it was his entire life. His hands were his tools, his art, his future, and now they could be ruined. The surgeries started immediately, 5 in total so far, with a 6th still ahead in 2023. Each one was excruciating, slowly draining his strength. He went through months of physical therapy, having to relearn everything from scratch: how to grip, how to squeeze, how to decorate cakes. By 2023, he had regained 95% of the strength in his hand. It was truly a miracle, but it came with pain, frustration, and non-stop work. Then in 2023, as he began finding his rhythm again, he made a bold move, leaving TLC to launch 2 new shows on A&E Cake Dynasty and Legends of the Fork, both premiering on November 11th. This wasn't just a return to television, it was a complete reboot. He shifted his focus from baking techniques to real-life stories. One show follows his family as they learn to run the business, while the other takes him across the country to explore legendary restaurants and uncover their secrets. In Cake Dynasty, we see a different side of Buddy, now more of a mentor than the star. His son, Buddy Jr. 19, is torn about whether to drop out of college and join the family business. His daughter, Sophia 20, surprised everyone with a stunning cake she made for her brother's confirmation. It made Buddy wonder if she might be the future of Carlo's bake shop. The business is no small operation anymore. They're running 14 bakeries, 7 restaurants, and 75 vending machines. It's an empire, and it needs a new generation to steer it. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like and share it with your friends and everyone around you so they can enjoy it too. Leave a comment down below to let us know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exciting videos. See you in the next videos.